Hello everyone, this is Sean, and this is the next section of my 1400 scale Enterprise B build. And today I'm going to try to put on the front and rear nacelle stripes. I'm going to try to work from the center down so that it should go on more smoothly. Now, of course, as you can see here, you can see how the pinstripe section is actually misaligned slightly from where the stripes are. So I'm not going to use that as my guide for putting the stripes on. I will simply use the existing nacelle stripes for my method of aligning them. And of course, I have the guide here, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to switch the guide this way for the first one, because you know that is decal number 31, so there's the proper alignment. 31 pointing towards the front, 32 pointing towards the back of the ship. So I'll go get the water ready, apply the decals, and we'll see what it looks like. I'll be right back. Okay, so you can see the first decal here has been applied to the front of the ship, and I did the best I could to align the align the red stripes together so there's not a gap. Of course, you'll see how I'm going to have to apply the paint, and what I will do with the paint is I will bring it right down to the front so it more effectively matches the entire width of the stripe. Bring it right down to where that gunmetal is. And then it can match just the front of the nacelle there. You see where the black is. So I'm going to put on the other decal and I'll be back. All right. So as you can see from the model guide, 31 and 32 have been applied. And you can see the results here. Now I made sure to match the red stripe as close as possible to where the nacelles went on. Yeah, I think it did pretty well. A few days it'll get the robin's egg blue detail painting to blend everything in. So now I'm going to finish off the decaling with the nacelle registry and the name. So I'll be back with that. You can see the decals there. So actually I'm going to turn the ship around so it matches the guide letter. Be right back. So there's the name. Got it pretty centered on the first try. So I'm not going to mess with it. The registry is floating. And I'll be right back once it's applied. Well, as you can see from the guide, the registry is marked as being applied. So is the name of the ship. And there is the registry on the ship itself. So I get a good angle, free from any glare. Move some stuff out of the way for the picture. There you go. Away from the glare. There you go. And picture. There we are. So that will be the screenshot, the thumbnail, for what will probably be part 11B. In fact, I'm just going to check that on the computer. I'll be right back. Oh, correction, this will not be 11 at all. 11 is complete. This will be part 12. Part 12, and therefore the final part of the model. Now, there will be one more phaser decal to put on there. I'm not going to try the orange paint now because it would probably spread. You don't want that. So I will put on that one last phaser decal going this way, because I have one left. And then I'll come back and tell you what the remaining section of part 12 will consist of. Be right back. So there we are. The final phaser decal is put on the ship. And that is, as far as I could tell, the final decal for the ship itself. So I will take the, and try to turn the light off. There we go. That reduces the glare. There's the photo. So that is the end of the model building part of the Enterprise B, but I'm going to show you the stand that came with it, and that'll explain why I need to create one. So here is the stand that came with the Enterprise B. Now, originally I had entertained the thought of gluing an empty paper towel roll onto the stand at such an angle that it would support the curved part of the secondary hull. But I realize that's not going to work. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to create some kind of cradle for the ship. And what I'm going to do with that, I'm going to use the building toy of Construx from my childhood in the 1980s. Now you've already seen this toy before. Put the camera up on the chair so you can get a better look. There we go. So you've already seen this before in the Wednesday Construx video. You can see the Construx guide here. And if I unfold it, you can see all the different vehicles that you can build with the Construx. Now, if you look at this section right here, you will see what I'm thinking of. Some kind of secondary hull platform for the ship that'll support it from the sides as well with beams. So what I'll do at this point, because you see you have all kinds of beams, and I figure if you had a couple of these beams, you could rest the ship on the flat part. You could have it at the front of the star drive hull, the back of the star drive hull. Just a couple of these with some kind of panel in between them, like the clear canopy pieces, which you can see here. So I figure that you have a couple of pieces like this, and then you have the secondary hull on top. And that should support the ship quite well, hopefully. But we're gonna, I'll splice in a few of the pictures from what I built before, because I built a few more bases for the ships. Like I built a base for the 2500 scale Enterprise D before I fashioned a stand for it. I built a base for the 650 AMT Enterprise in 2018 before I took it to a cabinet shop and had a hole drilled so I could use a polar light base. So I'll splice in those pictures now, and I'll show you a couple of ideas I have for this ship to build a proper base for it. And then it can proudly take its place on the shelf where there's room. Probably in there. Or maybe even in front of the 650 scale Enterprise. Since they'll both have something in common. They'll have a base that has to be adapted. So anyway, that's all for now. That's all for this half of part 12. And part 12B will be, quite appropriately, building the base. So I'll talk to you all later. Hope you had a good Easter weekend, and we'll see you here next time. Bye-bye.